In today's class, we will be discussing about Python data types. What are the different data types that Python has, and how it is categorized, and how is it used, and how all these data types are used in data analysis. We will be taking a look at it. So let me give you the agenda for today's class. For today's class are these points. So okay, the first thing that we will be learning here is we will be learning about the text, because the data are in around us is in different formats. In one such format is a text data. So any text data that we come across, Python would store that text data in the form of a string, and data around us are also in numbers. So any numbers that we have in around us can be represented either using integer or float in Python. And we also have another data type called as truth, where in this truth values we represent all the Boolean values, and we have another data type called as none. So all these things we will be discussing in today's class, and followed by which we will also be studying about a new data type called as collection related data type. So far we were able to store only one single value at one particular placeholder or a variable. Only one value can sit in one particular variable or in a particular placeholder. But in collections, we can store multiple values into one single big container. So collection related data types, we are having list data type, tuple data type, set data type, and dictionary data type. All these data types we will be studying in the upcoming classes in detail, but in today's class I will be giving you an introduction or just a momentum to see and feel how these data types we will be using in our day-to-day life as a data analyst. And then I will also be covering about converting between types. Whatever we discussed in the last class about typecasting, here we will be discussing in detail. And then these are the three topics that we will be looking closely. Now, the first topic, let me take up the string data type. So here in string data type, we will mark it as a string. We will mark it as string, and in short form in Python we call it as str. And this string will definitely store any text values. It will help us to store. So let me create a variable. I'm creating a variable by name greeting. It's the name of the variable. And anything, if I'm placing inside double quotes or single quotes inside Python, it will be treated as a string. So here I am giving the value hello world. I'm giving the value hello world. So anything inside double quotes, Python will treat that as a string data type. Now greeting is holding the value hello world, and then I'm creating another variable, and to this variable I'm giving a value Karthik. So no name is a variable and the value assigned to it is Karthik. Now for example, if I want to print greeting is a variable which is holding the value hello world, and then I'm using the plus operator. We have seen in the last class, plus operator will be helping us to concatenate two variables. It is not only helping us to add two numbers, it is also helping us to concatenate two variables. That also we saw in the last class. And then we are trying to print it. So when we are trying to print it, hello world and then plus Karthik will be printed on the console. This is the string data where in Python where we can store it, and also we can try to print it on the console or on the screen. Say for example, I want to know what is the length of this particular hello world and Karthik. This is the entire string, but I want to know how many characters we have used, how many characters it is used to display this hello world and Karthik. I can use something called as a length. Length is a special function written in Python. So this function is already written by the Python developers, and it is given to us to help us with some meaningful information. Now I am passing the length. It is already a function which is a small program written by the Python developers to find the length of the given string. Now I'm using length and I'm passing this hello world. I'm passing this hello world, that greeting variable I'm passing. When I'm passing the greeting variable, it will clearly say how many characters have been used to display this hello world. So it is 16 characters. It's what we are able to see it. This is the first thing that we have to understand in the string data type. How we can store string? Anything we can represent in double quotes, it will be it will be represented as a string. And if I want to concatenate or join two strings, I can use greeting, or I can use the plus operator to concatenate both the first variable and the second variable. If I want to know the length of the particular string, I can use the length function. Likewise, in Python, we have so many string functions where it is helping us to do a lot of things. So without any delay, let's see what are the functions that we have in string. Useful actions, useful actions in string data type. Okay, so what are the useful actions? Very simple. There are some functions in Python. We call it as upper function. What is this upper function? Any character, any string, if you are passing to this upper function, it will change the lower case to the upper case. That is what this function will do. If at all we wanted to have all these strings, all the characters into lower cases, we can use this function dot lower with open and close bracket. It will convert all the characters into lowercase and it will print it. I have another function called as a strip function. This function will try to remove the empty space. Could you see there is an empty space here? There is an empty space here. So it will remove the empty space between the left and the right. Strip will remove the empty spaces in the left and the right. Okay, and then and then we have another function called as split. So split is a function which is in Python, where the split function in Python will help us to split a particular string and return a value out of it. By what means we can split it? By what condition we can split it? In the upcoming example we will see it. And then we have another function in Python. Remember, functions in Python are a small program written by the Python developers, so that we can use this small program, so that we can get the necessary purpose, or we can use that for our necessary desired purpose. So here this Python function dot replace is helping us to replace some values in our string data. So let's take up an example and see how these functions we are used in string data type in Python. Why am I teaching only these functions? There are so many other functions in string. These are the repeatedly commonly used functions that we will be using in our data analysis project. That is why I'm teaching only these functions. There are so many other functions in string. We don't use that vitally or frequently in data analysis. So that's why I am not covering end to end. Our goal is to cover data analysis. So in data analysis, whatever the commonly used string functions, only that we are discussing. Okay, now I am creating a variable message. So I am in this message, I am trying to place a value. Remember, I am giving some space, 1 or 2 space. Then I am typing data, and then data analyst I am typing, and then there are some spaces. So there is some space here, there is some space in between, and there is also some space after this analyst. So there are quite a few space. Now we are going to use these functions and see how it is helping us. Now what I will try to do, I will use something called as print function, followed by message. What is the variable name? The variable name is message. And then I am trying to use this method, or use this function strip. Remember, strip is a function which will remove the space, the empty space, blank space before the string, that is before left of the string it will remove, and right of the string it will remove, and it will give only the data analyst. See there is no space before and after. It is only before space, and after the towards the left hand side and the right hand side, the spaces are removed from the string. Okay, now what is the next thing that I'm trying to do? The next thing what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to use a print function. Inside print function I have a value value AI, I have a value ML, I have a value DA, I have a value DA. Now this is a complete, this is, I'm trying to print this one. If I print, it will print as it is, AI, ML, and DA. But based on this one, I want to do something. I'm using a dot, and then I'm using a method by name split. I'm using a method by name split, and I'm asking to split all these characters in the string based on the based on the comma. So every wherever there is a comma, before and after, remove the particular characters and print it. Could you see here, before AI, ML, and DA were printed like this, were printed as it is, but after using the split, it is trying to remove everything and put it in a list container, or putting it inside a square bracket, and it is returning. So split is a function in is a function in Python which will split the string based on whatever criteria I'm giving inside the bracket. I'm splitting based on the comma. So all the characters should be splitted based on the comma. That is what the function of split. Now I'm trying to use print function. I'm trying to use print function followed by, I'm giving an example hello, and then I want to replace the lowercase l. I want to replace the lowercase l with uppercase l. So wherever in that hello string, wherever the lowercase l it is, it will be replaced with an uppercase. That is what it is doing here. Replace method will replace a particular character in our particular string. Okay. Now I would give you one small assignment. Try to do it in the same line. If you're not able to do it, no problem. Tomorrow we will try to do it. Now I'm trying to say that, create a city and let the city be Chennai. Okay. Let the city be Chennai. Okay. And now I want the city to be printed in uppercase. I want the city to be printed in uppercase. The smaller case characters in this particular Chennai should be all moved up or pumped up to upper. So I should be using city dot upper after it. So once you are able to do it, let us see, if you're not able to do it, we will try to solve it. Okay. The next concept we saw about the string and the string related functions in Python, and which are closely used in data analysis. The next topic what we are going to discuss here is numbers. In the data world, we have a lot of numbers. All numbers are represented either in integer or float in Python. Any whole numbers, we put that into integers. Any decimal numbers, we put that into float. So these are whole numbers and the decimal numbers. Okay. Now let us take an example and see how this has been used. A is a variable and I'm assigning a value 7 to it. Now 7 is a whole number. 7 is a whole number. In Python, whole numbers are represented as an integer. Next, B variable I'm creating and I'm assigning the value 3.5. 3.5 is a decimal value. Any decimal value in Python we represented as a float. And now I'm trying to use print a plus b. It will add the two numbers, and then I'm trying to say print a minus b, and then I'm trying to say a into b. It will multiply and a divided by b. So it will do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And also I have something called as a double /2, which is called as floor division. If at all I wanted the quotient of the division, the quotient in my division to return only integer number, I don't want a float number, then I can use /. Remember, recollect, I have already taught you in the previous class. And then a percentage 2, we call this as a module. This also we will try to, this one will return the remainder in the division. This also we have discussed in the last class. So floor division and a reminder, floor division and a reminder. So when we try to run it, so 10, a plus b 7 plus 3.5, it is 10.5. A minus b, it is again 3.5. A into b is 24.5, and a divided by b, it is 2.0. But I don't want the reminder, I don't want a float value, I want an integer value. A, that is 7 divided by 2, it's I wanted an integer value only, so it is 3. And then a divided by 2, 7 mod remainder of 2 is 1. That is what we are trying to get it. And now under numbers in data analysis, you will be doing something called as, formatting decimals. Formatting decimals. What is this formatting decimals? Formatting decimals, while you are calculating, you are working on your data analysis project, definitely you will come across, some prices like fuel price. Fuel price as of today could be, let's say, fuel price in Bangalore. Fuel price in Bangalore, it is 102.92 per liter. So I don't want, 102.9. I want the last two decimal values to be accurate. 0.92 should be there. So in your data analysis project, sometimes you will be very particular about your decimal values. I want two decimal values after your whole number. In that case, we have something called as formatting decimals, where this formatting decimals, you have something called as point. Two decimal values you want, you can write it as 2f for two decimal places. If you want more than two decimals, instead of 0.2f, if you can increase 3f, 4f and 5f, it will increase the decimal value by so much. This you will be using vitally in your data analysis project. So that is why I'm covering. So let me say that price is equal to 49.9 paisa, 49 rupees 0.9 paisa. And then the quantity what I have given here is, let's take for example, it is 3. Now I want to print the value. So I will say f string, which I have already covered in the last class, where it will try to print whatever is there in the double quotes, and also it will try to replace whatever is the value inside the curly braces. Here price value, I am trying to bring prices at the runtime. Price variable will fetch 49.9, and then into quantity value is 3, it will fetch it. After fetching it, I want to print the value with the two decimal numbers. So when I am trying to print total rupees 149.70, if you don't give this to 0.2f, it will not print the decimal numbers. If you want the decimal numbers, you need to use 0.2f, or how much ever decimal numbers you want, you can increase that count. Okay. Now the next the next part, we are going in the data type, we call it as Boolean, which is very, very important. Boolean, we call it in short bool, and then there is another data type, none. Let's just understand what is this one, Boolean and none. Say for example, in the real world, in the data science or in the data analysis world, you will have a lot of customers. You will be dealing with lot of customers' data. They say suppose, there will be a column or there will be a data field where you want to know whether the customer is active or not. So he is active, will have a value assigned to it, true. So if at all you are a customer in a particular e-commerce site, if at all you are active, your status will be is active, will be set to true. If in case, if you have made any order, and if the order isn't paid, so they will have that has paid. Imagine, you will have a column, or you will have a variable created has paid, and the value to it is false, you have not paid it. Okay. And then and then you have another column in that in the particular table, where it says none meaning there is no value at all, nothing. There is a variable nothing, and there is no value at all in it. So this is where Boolean values are vitally used. Is active will print the value true, and has paid will print the value false, and nothing will print none on the console, will print none on the console. Now, now let me give you another most important thing that this is very very important for you to understand. Now in Python, what and all things are considered true, and what are the things are considered false. This is very very important. If at all you see values, if you are seeing values like 0, if you are seeing a value like 0, or you are seeing a value like yeah, oh, empty string, there is no value in that string, okay, and then you are seeing empty square brackets. In that case, all these things like 0, empty string and empty square bracket are treated as false, and the rest are treated as true, okay. Along with this one, you should also remember none are also treated as false. So what are the things treated as false in Python? You have to remember any value with 0, any value with a string, nothing inside the string, any open and close bracket, square bracket, we call this as a list, an empty list we call. So if there is an value 0, an empty string, an empty list, and none are treated as false. Others are treated as true, okay. Others are treated as true. What is treated as false, what is treated as true is very very important, because you will be seeing that in your upcoming classes, okay. Now let us take an example. Let's take an example. Print print okay, that example I will give it little later. Now the next data type what I have to give here is, I have to give you a data type about collection related. We have seen text, we have seen numbers, we have seen truth values, we have also seen nothing. So the next data type that we will be seeing here is list, tuple, set, and dictionary, okay. These dictionaries we will be studying in the upcoming classes more in detail, but in today's class, take this as an introduction to that bigger class, okay. Now let us take up list. What are list here? List are in simple words, I will say that list is a collection related data type. What is a collection related data type? So far we have seen only one value can be seated in a variable, but list or collection related data type says that you can store multiple values, different kinds of values you can store at any given point of time. Collection related data type. What is a list? List is a collection related data type where the order is preserved, okay, where the order is preserved, you will be able to see in action, and it is changeable, okay. While I have given you this one in example, you will be able to see and understand more in detail. What is a list? Imagine list is a big container, where imagine list as a cupboard, or a or a place where you can store huge number of datas in it, okay. Now usually lists are represented in Python as a square bracket. Anywhere you see the square bracket, you need to tell to yourself this is list data type, because in Python lists are represented in the form of a square bracket. I am creating a value nums, and in that nums is a variable name, and this is a collection related data type, list related data type, where I am having multiple values 10, 20, and 30 at any given point of time. This is a bigger container where I'm storing three values, and I'm assigning it to a variable by name nems, and the data type here is a it is a list data type. Let's see that one. Print nums, it will print those values. And then let us see print, and then I will try to know what is the type of the particular nums. So it is internally Python is storing this entire list data is in the form of list only. That is what we are trying to see here. Type is a function which will let us know in what format it is getting getting stored inside the Python memory. So that is what we are trying to see here. Now in list also we have a lot of functions where these functions are small programs written by the Python developers, and it is given to us to so that we can make use of it for various different purposes and kinds. Now I am calling the list. The list name is nums, and then I wanted to pull the list related functions. So if I want to make use of the list related functions, in our case list is nums here, and then if I place a dot, it will give all the functions related to the list. Now I have the first function by name append. What is this append? Append is a function, it is a list function where Python developers have written this program, small program. So it will try to take the value whatever I'm trying to place it inside, and it will go and place it inside the last of the list. So 10, 20, 30. After 30, it will place this 40 and try to print it. See now? Okay, I need to place it and then try to print it. Okay, now when I'm trying to print it, so it is already placed. After placing it, when I'm trying to print, 40 is already there. So this is how I will be able to add a new value to the list. Okay, now if I want to pull out if I want to change the value here, imagine that all these are this entire square bracket, imagine this as a container, huge container, and inside the container or in the cupboard, 10 is seated there in one shelf, and 20 in another shelf, and 30 in another shelf. All these entire things, square bracket, all the entire container, imagine it is a cupboard, and in each shelf one value is present. And the shelf where if I want to pull out the value 20, I have to tell the cupboard name and the shelf, and I can pull out the value which is present there. So in this case, the cupboard name is nums, and the shelf count starts from 0. The shelf 0, in shelf 0 there is 10 value present. In shelf 1 there is 20 value present. In shelf 2 there is 30 value present. So by giving the shelf, I can pull out respective values. Say for example, I'm calling the cupboard name is nums, and then I want to pull the value in the shelf 1. So in 0th shelf 10 is there, in first shelf 20 is there. Now when I am trying to print, the cupboard name, and then I am giving the shelf value, it will print the respective value in that particular shelf. Now what I want to do, which is I don't want this in this shelf, I don't want the value 20. I want the value to be replace the value 20 with 25. Initially at 20 is there, I'm trying to pull that one, and then I'm assigning it with a new value. Instead of 20, 25 will be there. Instead of 20, 25 will be there. Now if you pull in shelf 1, 25 will be there. Okay, so by this you will be able to do a lot of functions in a list. This is just an introduction. In the upcoming classes we will be discussing more about this one. Now say for example, I want to pull out the values from values from shelf 0 and also shelf 1. I want two values to be fetched and printed. Very simple, we have a function for it. We have print function to print that one, and the cupboard name is nums, and I'm keep open and closing the bracket. When I'm open and closing the bracket, I give a colon number. So before, towards the left of the colon, we have the begin value of the shelf, and after the colon we have the end value of the colon. So begin value I can usually give 0, and the end value I wanted to pull the value 0th and 1, so I can give it 2. So if I give 2, it will stop one step before. 2 is not inclusive, 2 is exclusive. So in that case, what happens, whatever is the value that is in the shelf 0th shelf and in the first shelf, it will try to print it. Now when I'm trying to print it, it will say 10 and 25, because we have replaced 20 with the 25 here. So two values are printed. Now instead of giving 0, because we know the starting point is anyhow 0. So instead of writing nums square bracket 0 and 2, directly I can give directly 2 also. It will also return the same answer. So we will be studying more about this in the upcoming sessions. Okay, 1 minute, guys. Okay, so these are the things, you will be, using it in your day-to-day project. In the coming classes, we will be using this one and studying more in detail. So what are the common actions or functions you will be using in list, so that that in any data analysis project, these list related functions are very useful. So let's take a note about that one. Okay. Common functions of list. So what are the common functions of list? Quickly, let's take up those things. Okay. You have something called as dot append. Dot append is nothing but it will take the given value and go to the last of the list and it will place it. And then you have something called as extend. Extend is an list function where to that list 10, 20, 30, it will add another list. That is what extend will do. But in the upcoming classes, we will see with an example. No need to worry. Insert is a list function where at any given point of index yeah, or any given point of shelf, you want to add any value, it will replace the old value with a new value. Okay, that is what insert will do. Dot pop is another function where you want to pull out irrespective whatever is the last element in the list you want to pull out, you can use this dot pop. And then you want to delete any element in the list, you can directly give dot remove and that particular value it will remove. So these are some of the common functions of list where we will be using in our day-to-day activities in data analysis. In that list data type, I will be discussing more in detail, but this is just an introduction. Clear? The next data type, what we are going to see is called as a tuple data type. Okay, tuple data type. And what is tuple data type? I will say that tuple data, it is a read only of list data type. Okay, what is it read only of list data type? Very simple. Whatever the features that we have studied in list data type, all those features are there, except it is only read version. You cannot make any changes to it. You cannot alter a tuple data type. Once created, it is created, done and dusted forever. You cannot make any changes. Say for example, you are tuple data type can be extensively used in our Aadhaar number. Once created, you cannot make any changes to it. Or our phone number, once created, you cannot make any changes to it. If at all you want to make a changes, that will be there. You can add another phone number, but once the number is created, you cannot make any changes. So that is how tuple is meant for. So let's say that I am creating a variable point, and tuple usually is represented in simple brackets. Anywhere in Python you see simple brackets, assume that tuple is a collection related data type where it stores multiple values, but once created, it cannot be deleted or it cannot be changed. If you are doing so, it will throw an error. So anywhere simple brackets, it is a tuple. So point, I am trying to print it. I will try to print point, and then I will try to say print type of point I will try to do. When I'm trying to do it, you will say, you can see that the tuple is printed as it is, and also the type of the data. A Python is internally representing this one as a tuple only. Now again the same concept. Imagine point or this particular tuple as a cupboard. Inside the cupboard you have shelf 0 and shelf 1. If I want to print the value which is present in shelf 0, I can print the value. I can take it and I can print it. Point 0, if I give the cupboard name and then the square bracket to access the shelf, and then I'll be able to get that point 10 value. If I want to print the 20, I can say cupboard and then the shelf 0.1, I can get that 20 will be printed. Now if I want to go and change something, 0, and then I want want to, 10 is already there. I want to replace with 30. It will throw an error saying that tuple object does not support item assignment because once created, you cannot make any changes to it. It is done and dusted forever. That is why I told you tuple is a read version of list data type. Once created, you cannot make any changes to it. Clear? The next one, the next data type, what we are trying to see here is called as set data type. Set data type. What is the set data type? Set data type, in the high school mathematics, we have studied something called as, unique. You want to know what are the union of two sets, what are the intersection of these two sets, and all these things. We have studied a little bit of set theory in our high school. So those things we will be seeing here. Say for example, S is a set, and a set is also represented in curly braces. Set in Python is represented in curly braces. So I'm giving 1, 2, comma 2 and 3. Now, if I want to print S, it will print it. It will print it. But do you see a difference here? I have given 2 twice here. I have repeated. There was a duplicate value for 2, but set will remove the duplicate values and give only unique values inside the set. So set is can be used. A set is a collection related data type where by default duplicates will be removed. Duplicates will be removed. Okay, that is what we are trying to see here. Say suppose if I want to add anything, so I am calling the set as yes dot add. There is a inbuilt function called as for a set. We have a set related function developed by the Python developers. So here if I want to give any values s dot add 4, it will add to the set and then it will try to print it, and then it will try to print it. So print yes, that 4 value will be there. Now I want to check, in the real world, in data analysis projects, sometimes you want to check whether the given value is present in that particular container or in that particular set data type. For in that case, we have something called as, I want to know whether 2 is present inside yes. Whether 2 is present inside yes, it will say since 2 is present inside the set data type, it is returning true. If I am giving 5 which is not present, it will say false because it is not there. It is which is not there. So this in acts as a membership operator to check whether that particular value is present inside the set or not. If it is there, it will return true. If it is not there, it will return false. What do you see here? 2 is already there inside, it is returning true. 5, it is not there, it is returning false. Okay. Now, what are the set operations that we would be seeing here? Set operations. What are the set operations we will be seeing? The set operations here, we can see that, set has something called as union. In the set classes in high school, we have studied about union, and then intersection, and then we have something called as a difference. All these things in the high school we have studied, but let's see in Python, let's see how this is working. Say for example, I'm creating two sets. So I'm creating two variables a comma b, and then set is usually represented in curly braces. So inside curly braces, I am assigning 1 comma 2 comma 3, and this value is assigned to the variable a. Next, I am creating another set. Set is usually created in the curly braces. Inside this curly braces, I am placing 3 comma 4. This 3 comma 4 is assigned to the variable b. Now what I trying to do, I want to know what is the union. I want to know what is the union of a and b. Remember, union can be represented in Python using the pipe symbol after the delete. Before enter key or before enter key or behind delete key, you have this pipe symbol or a straight line that internally is represented as a union. What is union? Union is a collection of first set and the second set put together, that is called as a union. Union of it is giving both the sets 1, 2, 3, 4 together. Now I want to know the intersect. I want to know the intersect. I want to know. So for that in Python, we have something called as ampersand symbol or and symbol, A and B, which will tell me what is the common numbers between the two sets. The common number between the first set and the second set is 3. So that is what we are seeing here. And then I have something called as a difference. The difference when I'm trying to print it, A minus B. So in A minus B, the common things 3 is present in both the sets, and the missing part in A is 1 2. So it will print 1 2 there. Difference in A minus B is 3 is common, and whatever is not present in A, that will print as 1 2. So this is about set operations where we will be using in data analysis project. This is just an understanding, first example I'm trying to give so that you will be able to understand it more detail. When I'm going into set data types in detail, we will see about it, but treat all this as an introduction so that you are aware. Now next data type what we are going to see is called as a dictionary data type. Very, very important data type, and it is also used everywhere in the real world. You see a lot of data types like this. Okay, what is a dictionary data type? Very simple. Can I answer your question later, Anand? Will that be okay, or is it some blocker question?
No, no, no. You can answer later, Karthik. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So this dictionary data type is something that it's used vitally in the real world. Like dictionary data type, I could say that it is literally like a dictionary. If you take up a Oxford dictionary, you will have a particular word, and that word will be having a meaning to it. Likewise, in the Python dictionary also will have a key, and also that key will have a value. That is what is all about. So here in dictionary data type, you will have a key and you will have values. So like that, key value pairs are called as dictionaries. Let me give you an example. Say for example, I'm creating a student variable. Dictionary also is represented in curly braces. Set also is represented in curly braces. But the difference between dictionary and set is dictionary will have key value pairs, but set data type will not have key value pairs. Okay, here whatever you're writing, whatever you're writing, colon, let me put first colon, whatever you're writing towards the left hand side of the colon, we will treat that as a key. We will treat that as a key, and whatever towards the right side of the colon, we will call that as a value. So remember, in dictionary you will have key value pairs. How key value pairs are represented? Key value pairs are represented in the form of a curly braces. In the curly braces, you will definitely have a colon. Colon towards the left hand side is called as key, and colon towards the right hand side is the value. So here name is acting like a key and the value is Asha. Next thing, another key value pair I am creating, age, and here I am having the value 1. So age is a key and value is 21, Now the next thing, this is something that a dictionary is already created. A dictionary already is created. I'm trying to print it. After the dictionary is created, I want to add little more data. The name of the dictionary is a student, and then I want to add a key. The key name is department. I am placing it inside a square bracket, and then the value to the department is a CS. Value to the department is CS. Now when I'm trying to print a student, it will print that department also will be added to the dictionary, and it will get printed. Now if I want to know what is the name, I want to pull the name of the student, I can use the print function, and then I can call the name of the dictionary, that is student, and then I can pass the value, I can pass the key. When I pass the key, I will be able to get the value inside the key, that is Asha. Okay, now the next important thing here is I want to add another key value pair, the key that's to the student. So student is a keyword, and then I'm using get, and then I'm passing a key called email, and then I am passing another value na, I'm passing another value na. What does it give? Here it is trying to see that, it is trying to go to the dictionary, find if there is any key by name email. There is nothing there. Since it is nothing there, if it is nothing there, I'm asking it, if you don't find anything as a, if you don't find email in the dictionary, return the value na. So it is returning the value na. This is how dictionary data type it is, and you will be using dictionaries, set and list and tuple more efficiently in the upcoming classes. Okay, I will stop here.